Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Namah Suryaya Chandraya Mangadhaya Budhaya Cha Guru Shukra Shani Pisha Rahuve Ketuve Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Inhale deeply with YUVA and exhale deeply with C 7 times through Sushumna Nadi. Follow me through. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya. The deep transcendental Kriya consciousness. Let's do the first pranayama. Inhale deeply with Va. Exhale deeply with C. To Sushumna Nadi. Follow me through 7 times. Deep transcendental consciousness. So let's do the second pranayama. Inhale deeply with Va. And exhale deeply with C. Halfway through. Follow me 7 times. The deep transcendental consciousness. That is the third pranayama. Inhale deeply with Va. Exhale deeply with C. Single breath. 7 times. Follow me through. COVID-19 is going through the world again, second wave. Those who took precautions, getting it up slowly. Hopefully this happen in Asian countries also. It's a challenge. Human kind has to be facing because of human society's karma, right? So people like us who sincerely ask the Almighty to help will be definitely saved. Just continue the prayer with Siddhartha Kanvantri through Maha Avatar Babaji and Lord Vishnu. Let's do it again 7 times, so it will bear this power very soon.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरयाय अमृत कलश हस्ताय सर्वमय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।
Om Kiriya Babaji Namo.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरयाय अमृत कलश हस्ताय सर्वमय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।
Om Kiriya Babaji Namo.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरयाय अमृत कलश हस्ताय सर्वमय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।
Om Kiriya Babaji Namo.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरयाय अमृत कलश हस्ताय सर्वमय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।
Om Kiriya Babaji Namo.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरयाय अमृत कलश हस्ताय सर्वमय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।
Om Kiriya Babaji Namo.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरयाय अमृत कलश हस्ताय सर्वमय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।
Om Kiriya Babaji Namo.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वंतरयाय अमृत कलश हस्ताय सर्वमय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः।
Om Kiriya Babaji Namo. First and foremost, Happy Mother's Day for all the mothers in the group. And as the mothers just come in, we are going through 5th year successfully with a meditation group. I always think when I started this, why that so happened during the first year of starting this group meditation. For many of our friends. So I always think we have the blessings of Mother Parvati, because if you know the history of knowledge of Siddhas, they always say, whenever I get a chance to talk in the Amman temple, the Siddha's knowledge actually came from Lord Shiva himself. Look at the history, including Siddha medicine. Lord Shiva teaching to Mother Parvati, and then Mother with their own kindred children, because remember, Amman Parvati belongs to humankind. She became goddess after Shiva married her. And then she has to go through a lot of trials and tests before she was qualified to be next to him and even to share off of him. So the knowledge of the Siddhas, knowledge of the diseaselessness, knowledge of agelessness, even deathlessness, actually coming from Lord Shiva himself. It came from there. And then comes down through the Siddhas around Kailash, who are living there. And then from there, come down south through our Siddha, who started our language temple, Agastya. And then rest of the 18 Siddhas come out and spread the knowledge to all of us. Okay, of course, other Siddhas, including Maha Avatar Babaji and his gurus. Gurus are part of 18 Siddhas, and all your descendants, they don't include them. Again, we come under the group of Agastya, Bhavanadar, Babaji, in that group. So I just want to remind you where this knowledge is trickling down and how persons like Babaji, Maha Avatar Babaji, interpret this knowledge to us in our days way of understanding. Initially, there was time in which this knowledge was transferred only to the disciples through chantings, secrets, giving through the air. Then when the groups became bigger, they started giving lectures or poems with double meanings, private language. Many of them are still available. And then people like Maha Avatar Babaji, immortal Siddhas, they choose the disciples and then spread the knowledge. And we are very glad to be in that group. I don't know how some of our disciples feel all over the time. It was 5 years, but many of them come and pick the fruits from our tree. I always tell them, and as one of my gurus say that when I see people who follow the Siddhas, they stay for some time and then leave, and the guru will say, "Don't worry, this tree is full of fruits, and anybody who likes it, who want to pick it, they take the fruits which are falling down. They're happy, and once they start enjoying it and satisfied, they leave. But those who stay will be getting it continuously throughout the year and the following years, and that will be enough for them for the purpose of their life." So I want to remind that same example. For us, we are definitely improving. We can feel that year by year. Transmitting the knowledge as well as understanding the knowledge from Babaji. direction. And he himself says different scriptures, and sometimes those scriptures just the knowledge. We've been blessed to be part of Babaji's group and learn as well as each other. So thank you, Babaji, again, leading us through this journey. Blessed are those who are getting the highest knowledge given by him and staying with us. As we always say, that he chooses people to get his highest knowledge. He's filtering very carefully. And we should be glad that we are part of that group that he's filtering out and choosing. So with that introduction of this 5-year anniversary, let's go to our teachings on Babaji. We've been talking about a lot about this information of the Jivatman structure and how it is affecting what you're supposed to do and so on and so forth. To use this knowledge to improve our energy and also to stop the wastage of energy in different ways. Main goal of Siddha's being a perfect life. What is a perfect life? First of all, understanding what we are born for, and then following through in spite of all the difficulties we have to face in Kali Yuga. As Babaji says, like a soldier fighting. All the imprints we are carrying, Babaji is helping us to eradicate this imprints, to realize ourselves, self-realization, realize ourselves who we are, so on and so forth. Let's continue with that knowledge. Go ahead with the last words.
Okay. Last class we were talking about how the strong, powerful imprint of Adida imprint makes the guru follow the disciples and how qualified the disciples should be and how the gurus will approach them regardless of their status, regardless of their societal stature, etc. So this highest powerful or strong Adita imprint, which is related to one's own guru, is very strong because of the connection between the guru and the disciple, and thus it goes on beyond birth and death. For example, even the relationship of lives which are other than humans, this relationship is also because of the past life and because of the Jivatma evolving from one birth to another. And at that point, the soul realizes the connection with one's own guru. There is some other Shakti that is present and realizes beyond the Guru, and there are some energy that will follow that are beyond birth and death. During Kriya or service to God, doing Kriya or service to God and following teaching of the Guru and God, and then understanding this highest level of energy that spreads all over the universe, and that kind of Atman is called the yogi. Thus, the yogi is the one who realizes under the presence of his guru that there is a higher energy level that is universal. This will lead to further births that will follow in search of this magnetic force day in and day out. Thus, with the intention of understanding, it becomes a soul searching. Such souls are called Siddha Yogis, Kriya Yogis, and they have a specific path that will follow the search for this higher magnetic force. We have to develop that capacity in order to understand what our gurus are giving us, and thus we take many births to make ourselves quite capable of their transformative energy. No matter where you're born, the gurus will always follow and will lead you to the evolutionary path and purpose of life. And thus, Guru will always follow you, and that is an assurance. Now, how is that possible? The Adida imprint that includes the Guru's image, teachings, etc., will get into the disciple's jivatman and therefore will remain there at a higher level or are called as the Abhita imprint. Thus, yogis of this kind will only speak with evolutionized speech and higher level of clarity. Just like the shadow, because of the imprints of teachings of the yogi in the jivatman, one can recognize, hence the guru can recognize the disciple and will give their energy and teachings to that disciple, and they will ask them to function in the energy. Hence, one has to be careful about the teaching from some learned um, yogis on earth and identify the real guru, with a real understanding that the guru will follow you and one should not get cheated by the other so-called learned things. Um, thus, this kind of impression given by the gurus to continue is also an example of Avita imprint. These people will not realize maybe until later in their life when their guru will follow them and impart them with their knowledge and transform them. People will elevate themselves when they realize their true nature and will rise above all. This clear knowledge will come only to highly evolved souls. It belongs only to high level souls through which Babaji gives his teachings. Some people, some people for their own identity, some people use it for their own identity, or clarify, or fame, or money, or bhakti to themselves to respect them. And when they teach the wrongful teaching, this is so beware of those kind of evolved souls. They are not the real gurus. They will misinterpret Ishtanga Yoga on themselves, and they will realize within them, and you have to realize you have to realize that within you, and then walk away from these people. Maintain your own consciousness. Always do your own analysis deeply to understand and differentiate between the teachings and then walk away quietly. If you have the same feeling, then it will get imprinted in you. So please do introspection carefully, and this is about Belgium knowledge.
Okay. Good. So Babaji was last class we were talking about the imprints. He was talking about how some people, with understanding the way the universe works, the way the Jivatman, the connection with the Paramatman, complete misunderstanding. Sometimes they even go to the level of making themselves of gods, and then making them to do Sarya Kriya and other Bhakti Yoga on themselves. So he was asking us to be very, very careful with them, and also not getting angry with them, because they will also be understanding them very soon by the challenges as well as the tests given by the universe itself. Okay, so continuing that, he continues the knowledge. The one who explains that everybody, including the gurus, Mahagurus, they are all part and parcel of the same spirit, and understanding and realizing this. There's a time at which, after the complete understanding and application of the Kriya Yoga knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, the gurus let these Kriya Yogis to be getting complete freedom, and then ask them to go teach, as well as be part of the other group, other people. But they will be guided by a guru like Maha Avatar Babaji. They will get freedom. They will never keep them all the time with them as a slave. Babaji assures those are the real siddhas, those are the real teachers. So he says ask us to be very, very careful on this. this differentiation between some of the false gurus and some of the real gurus. We always talk about Siddhas, always talk about Meguru and Sadguru, somebody who says, makes us understand the knowledge, and somebody who makes us understand the real guru is inside us, inside our Atman. Say Atman, and the guru will come to you automatically. You don't need to go and search all the time. The time will come, like Babaji, who was guiding to Lavi Mahashaya. This will definitely happen. So that's what he was doing in the last class. And then he further goes to Sparisha. Sparisha knowledge, how that is also important. And he was giving us some little intro. That is where we stopped. Knowledge of Sparisha. Remember, we talked about Akshayam first, which is the Parvayin Nilai. Babaji says eyesight, how that is important. Parichayam, your speech, where we talked about Sarana Pechu and Ujja Pechu and Dirka Pechu, right? So those Dirka Pechu is very important. We was talking about that. And how we can control, how we can stop the leakage of energy, loss of energy, and how we can be effectively, strongly, deeply, we can transmit the knowledge. Now, very, very important knowledge of Sparisha. Sparisha, knowledge of the touch. In this way, Babaji says it is really important knowledge. As a Kriya Yogi, you have to understand. Babaji says, first, தொடுஉணர்வுகள் பிரதானமாக எவ்வாறு செயல்படுகிறது என்பதை அறிய வேண்டும். You have to know how this Sparisha or touch really work. Babaji says there is an important difference between Akshaya and Parichaya and this Sparisha. யாதெனில் அச்சயம் பரிச்சயம் ஆகிய இரு செயல்களும் நினைவு மனம் உயிர் ஆகியவற்றில் பதிவுகளை உருவாக்கும் தன்மை உடையன. So Akshayam, which is sight, Parichayam, speech, both of them give the imprints. Remember, we have to understand the imprints are the main topic, main result of all this. So we have to be really understanding. We are understanding that. So the imprints from this goes to Ninaivu, via awareness. First of all, it goes to imprints awareness. Manam, then it goes to your mind. Then Uyir, then it goes to the soul. So Akshayam, Parichayam, both of them have the capacity to affect our awareness, to affect our mind, to affect our soul. We even got to the imprints inside our Jivatman and soul. And Babaji said how we can distinguish that, how we can be successful to remove those imprints and find out and be successful like a soldier, right? Nobody was talking about that. Babaji says, ஆனால் ஸ்பரிஷம் பதிவுகளை உருவாக்குவதில்லை. Babaji says, no, this touch does not make imprints. It's not an imprint, but மாறாக, instead of that, தூண்டுதல் உணர்வுகளை மட்டும் உருவாக்கும் தன்மை உடையது. தூண்டுதல் சொல்றோம். It provokes, right? Provokes. தூண்டுதல் உணர்வு, provoking feeling, right? Provoking
emotions or feelings?
Provoked feelings. தூண்டுதல் உணர்வு. Provoke the feelings. How can I say that? Yeah, provoke the feelings. தூண்டுதல் உணர்வை மட்டும் உருவாக்கும் தன்மையுடையது. எவ்வாறு? Then Babaji says an example. How it is? Because provoke feelings means எவ்வாறு ஒரு நீளமான இரும்பு கம்பியின் ஒரு முனையில் ஒரு காந்தத்தை ஒட்ட வைக்கும் பொழுது அதன் சக்தி அக்கம்பி முழுவதும் பரவி மறுமுனை வரை காந்த ஈர்ப்பு சக்தி உருவாகிறதோ, அதுபோன்று உடலில் ஒரு இடத்தில் படும் ஸ்பரிசமானது தொடர்பு உள்ள உயிரணுக்களின் மின்மண்டலம் மூலமாக மிக விரைவாக பரவி செயல்பாடுகளை தூண்டும் எண்ணத்தினை உருவாக்கப்பட்டு மனம் வரை செல்கிறது. Babaji says as an example, you take a long iron rod and you're going to touch a magnet. In that time, the magnetic force will go all the way from one end to the other end. I think scientifically speaking, we're talking about electrons, right? Movement of the electrons, the wave and go to the other side. The same way, the sparism is going to, even though it starts one spot, but it can travel to அவ்வாறு தொடர்புள்ள உயிரணுக்களின் மூலம் மின்மண்டலம் மூலமாக just like electric energy, electricity, right? Electricity, just by touch, very quickly this spread immediately. In the awareness, I think I was talking about not the imprint, but your awareness immediately get affected by the touch. செயல்பாடுகளை your thought even changes. மனம் வரை செல்கிறது. செயல்பாடுகளை தூண்டும் எண்ணத்தை நீர் உருவாக்கும் பொருட்டு மனம் வரை செல்கிறது. So this kind of touch will help you provoke the awareness, தூண்டுதல் உணர்வு. With the awareness, even though in one place it just goes like a chain action to the whole body, and then to the mind, and then the thoughts, and then the different kind of actions. Keep continuing. So Babaji explains much more in the following lesson. He just gave the intro. This is different from Achayam and Parichayam. So Achayam and Parichayam imprints come a little bit, and if you don't do, you take care of it, then it's going to be there in the part of the soul for a long period of time, even the following births and everything. Sparism is not making imprints, but immediately it affects you, even in the present. Between explaining this sparism, Babaji gives another lesson on Udal Patriya Kriya Vinyana Vilakkam. First is, he also gives the Kriya knowledge of the human body, and then he continues with the sparism. Okay? So the next question, it says, இவ்வாறு உண்டாகும் உயிரணுக்களின் கூட்டு அமைப்பான உடலை பற்றி நீ அறிந்து கொள்வது அவசியம். So when he say உயிரணுக்கள், when you say soul, atoms of the soul, உயிர் அணுக்கள், atoms of the soul, உயிரணுக்களின் கூட்டமைப்பான உடல், atoms of the soul is being built. I think the whole body is nothing but atoms of the soul itself. Many people think soul is, as we always say, Jivatman only, but then the Jivatman is extended to the whole body as the cells. Cells are other atoms, because they are connected with the Jivatman by the awareness. The main source, of course, is there in the Jivatman. But again, it goes like electric current going through different wires. Through the nadis, the energy and the feelings go through whole body. Babaji says you have to understand this first. ஏனெனில் எந்த ஒரு பொருளை அழிவற்ற நிலைக்கு உறுதியான தன்மைக்கு மேம்படுத்த வேண்டும் என்று நினைக்கிறோமோ, முதலில் அந்த பொருளை பற்றிய முழு சுருக்கங்களையும் உட்கூறுகளையும் அறிந்தாலன்றி அச்செயலை செய்யாது. Now Babaji directly comes to the topic. Now we are trying to make our body diseaseless. We are trying to make our body deathless. Then you have to understand, complete understanding of this body. Otherwise, you won't achieve these objectives or aims. எனவே ஒரு கிரியா யோகியானவர் மனித உடலின் அத்தனை சூட்சுமங்களையும் மிக நுணுக்கமாக உணர்ந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். மாபெரும் மருத்துவ மேதைகள் உடல் உறுப்புகளை பற்றியும் இரத்த நாளின் துடிப்புகளும் பற்றியும் அறிந்து வைத்திருப்பார்கள். Then he is compared. So comparing to Kriya Yogi and doctors, Kriya Yogi will understand all the shukshma of the body also. Shukshma of the body. Very, very deeply they will understand. They will know Kriya Yogi. Whereas the medical experts, they will know only the organs of the body, then the blood vessels, heart rate, and all those things they will know. But they will never know the complete understanding of the Shukshma knowledge. That is why the medical science never stops. People keep on publishing, keep on finding out things, and the knowledge keeps on going. And the doctors have to take continuing education credits continuously. There is no limit to, because they are still looking for the Shukshma knowledge, which is very difficult to understand for them. ஆனால் சூக்ஷ்ம உடலாகிய மனோமய கோஷத்தின் தன்மைகளை அறிய மாட்டார்கள். They won't know Doctor, this is the problem with the modern, even this COVID-19. They always tell people there is some other way you can be treating it. You can treat this, but you don't understand. So because it conflicts, people don't understand. The allopathy people don't understand how this Siddha medicine really work. So that's the problem. ஆனால் சூட்சமடனமாகிய மனோமய கோஷத்தின் தன்மைகளை they won't understand. மனோமய கோஷம், sukshma. Sukshma mind, this, remember Manomaya Kosha we talked about when we talked about the 5 different types of body, right? Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. They won't understand that deep, even though Mahabaru Manodattu Manadin Sailbartani, Padivirin Tami, world with the tongue. So some of the psychologists, psychiatrists, they will understand because of the specialty, they will understand a little bit, right? A little bit of this Sukshma knowledge, but they won't have a deep knowledge. They won't have a perfect knowledge. Siddhas always use a term called Purana, completion, right? Puranam. There are a lot of Siddhas in their poems, they talk about this, right? Complete knowledge. It is not there. But in Siddha's knowledge, Puranam is there. Siddha exactly says, even with the disease, there are 4,448 diseases that can happen in the human body. They say, sure, even the number. And then it says that is the reason why, even though COVID-19 as a disease, people don't know, in allopathy, they have to do research and understand. All these other treatments are trial and error. Since these diseases also belong to one of those 4,448, I was listening to the other day, just a couple of hours ago, in Tamil Nadu, one of the Siddha doctors were telling how this treatment is already talked about. He even recited a poem, the tasteless, senseless feelings will come in this disease. That disease is already there. And then he was talking about how Kapashara Kuni is going to be helpful. Anyway, that kind of knowledge, and the Siddha doctor also tells the knowledge, they find the medicine not only through the herbals and other things, but it also goes along with the spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge and the knowledge of medicines comes together, for which they can't show any evidence. They can't show any evidence. That is where they lack the problem to lack the evidence for the logic and looking for these allopathy is looking for. Because once you have the logic, everybody can understand. But Siddha's knowledge can be understood only by the evolution of one spirit, evolution status. Even the gurus choose only those particularly evolved spirits to spread their knowledge. So Babaji says, even though the doctors know that much about the organs and physiology, anatomy, everything, they don't get it. Sukshma knowledge. Some people like psychiatrists, especially psychologists, they get a little bit of knowledge of Sukshma. Again, not complete. Puranam. There's no Puranam there. There's no completion. ஆனால் உடலின் இயக்கங்களையும் உடல் உறுப்புகளின் சூட்சுமங்களையும் அறிய மாட்டார்கள். ஆனால் இவள் இருவருமே உயிரின் தன்மையை பற்றியும் ஜீவ அணுவாகிய ஆன்மாவின் காந்த மண்டல செயல்பாடுகள் பற்றியும் அதற்குள் உறையும் உயிர் எனும் கரு பற்றியும் எப்போது உணர்ந்து கொள்ள முடியாது. Ultimately, they will never understand this. Even the psychologist, psychiatrist, or the other physician who are cardiologists, who are nephrologists, whoever specialists we are talking about, even those two types of people, they will never understand uyirin tanmai, the properties of the soul. Uyirin tanmai patriyum, properties of the soul. Jiva anuvagiya anmavin gandha mandala செயல்பாடு பற்றியும். Jiva anu, that means that the atma anu, jivatma, atom of the jivatma. Babaji directly says it's an atom. The structure we talked about, remember, the one which is revolving and the tail, the imprints and everything. That nature, these doctors will never understand. Never understand. Adarkul urayum, even not only that, even within that atom, adarkul urayum uyir in karuvatriyum, even that rotating stuff. We center, remember we talked about the dark spot, which is controlling even the rotation of the jivatma. Karuvatriyum, எப்போதும் உணர்ந்து விட முடியாது. They will never understand. They will never get to it. Why? Because the tools for understanding this is meditation. Meditation and pranayama and all those techniques to Kriya Yoga explained to us. So only through that one can understand. And there's no tool, there is no proper methodology to understand this knowledge in those sciences. ஆனால் ஒரு முழு கிரியா யோகியானவர், compared to this, people, complete kriya yogi, they will understand the structures of our external organs, internal organs, external organ structure, உறுப்புகளின் செயல்பாடுகள், the functions of the internal organs. அக உடலான, there is another body inside, which is manomaya kosha. They will understand the manomaya kosha properly. சூட்சும உடலின் செயல்பாடுகள், that manomaya kosha's functions, or manomaya kosha's actions, they will understand. Who will understand? Kriya yogis. இதற்கு மேலாக, even beyond that, ஜீவ அணுவாக்கிய ஆன்மாவின் காந்த மண்டல செயல்பாடுகளும், you will also understand inside the Jivatman is the Atman inside, that's as a karu, the embryo which is there, and that karu, that embryos, magnetic Gandha, Babaji says Gandha Mandala, magnetic systems, actions, இன்னும் அதனுடைய உயிரினையும் கருப்பற்றியும், and also the embryo, inside the embryo there is this dot which is there at the center, and the secrets they will know. மனித பிறப்பின் அத்தனை இடத்துலையும் they will also know the human birth, the secrets of the human birth, how the soul takes on the birth, and everything they will understand. மிக துல்லியமாகவும் நுணுக்கமாகவும் தெளிவாகவும் அறிந்திருக்கலாம். Babaji says very clearly, this Kriya Yogi is the highest level of Kriya, like our Guru Maha Avatar Babaji can say it. They will understand this மிக துல்லியமாக, very very exact, correctly, நுணுக்கமாக, very minutely, தெளிவாக, clarity, complete clarity, they will know, and you have to know also. Babaji says, as a Kriya Yogi, eventually you have to know this also very clearly. Remember, I always say Siddha's knowledge as ullangai nellikani bola, just like you put a fruit in your palm, you see it. So that kind of clarity should be there for Kriya Yogi. Babaji says again, இனிமேதான் நான் உனக்கு ஒவ்வொரு விஷயங்களையும் பிரித்து ஆராய்ந்து தெளிவாக்குவேன். Babaji says, this is the reason I am going much deeper in this knowledge. Remember, all these Dirka Parichayam and Achaya Parichayam, all of them belong to that part. Right? They belong to the Shukshma part of the knowledge. So even that, they won't even get in touch. Okay. Now Babaji says about human body and the structure a little more. ஒவ்வொரு மனித உடலும் 8 மண்டலங்களை கொண்டதாகும். Babaji says every human body has 8 mandalas. 8 மண்டலங்கள். இதில் கண்ணுக்கு புலப்படுவது 7 மண்டலங்களும் கண்ணுக்கு புலப்படாத ஒரு மண்டலம் ஆகும். So what we can see is 7. Remember, you cannot compare this kind of knowledge to the anatomy, physiology, other things. So keep it out, keep it in a bag, throw it away. Now listen to this kind of knowledge coming from the Siddhas over the body for a little bit. So the 7 mandalas you can see, 1 mandala you cannot just see by your sense alone. இவளை அடுக்குகள் என்றும் கூறலாம். Babaji says you can say it as steps. Let's say 8 steps, right? 7 steps or 8 steps. No, I'm sorry. It says 7 மண்டலங்களும் உள்ளன. Those 7 are steps, right? The one which you can see are 7 steps. One which you can't see, another step is inside. முதலில் ஒன்று எலும்பில் உள்ள மஜ்ஜை எனும் மாவு மண்டலம். So first he says inside the bones, majjai. So the bones we have that. What is the bone marrow? So the bone majjai எனும் மாவு மண்டலம். He says மாவு mandalam in powder form. That is called Maha Mandala. Then Yelumbu enum Kal Mandala. So the bone is compared to the stone, bone to stone, the Kal Mandala. Okay, Maha Mandalam powder, and then Kal, that is stone. Then he says Yelumbin mel ulla Javu Mandalam, fibrous tissue. What do you say that? Cartilaginous tissue, fibrous tissue. That is Javu Mandalam. Okay, inside you have powder, and then you have stone, and then you have the cartilage.
Glue, right?
Javuna, glue and something sticking, right? Javu and the neelam and the transparent. I don't know, those non-veg people will understand better. There is something
like
in the
cartilage. I think
cartilage,
cartilage.
right?
Cartilage?
Cartilage, Mary.
Jumping on the, they say on the knee replace on the jagumbanga, on the in between on the cartilage covering the knee area.
Oh, the one that covers your knee area, those kind of cartilages.
That kind of the javu is there all over the bones.
Yeah.
All of the bones it is there.
Right.
So that is what Baba is talking about. Inside you have majjai, adukku mela bone, adukku mela javu. You're right. Thank you. Thank you. So javu. And then fourth, he says, Rattanalangal, the blood vessel, that we can easily understand. Okay, majjai, then bone, and then the javu, the cartilage. Blood vessels, Rattanalangal. Rattanalangal. Rattanalangal, blood vessels. Yeah. We are four. மற்றும் ரத்தநாளங்கள் மற்றும் வாயு நாளங்கள் கொண்ட ரமண்டலம். Okay, I'm sorry. Babaji combined the fourth one, he combined everything. Blood vessels மற்றும் வாயு நாளங்கள் கொண்ட நரமண்டலம். So even the nerves also he says in the fourth one. Blood vessels, nerves. And Babaji also says the nerves also have vayu nalangal. The air channel. Yeah, vayu nalangal. Air channel, the one which has the air channels, that is your nerves. Okay, you explaining?
Air channel
also is the nerves. Through the nerves, when he is giving explanation for the nerves, so first he says majjai, then he says the bone, then he says the cartilage, which javu, and then he says blood vessels plus nerves. And what are those nerves? Vayu nalangal. So maybe it is transmitting your sensory information. Also, it is also has airflow. Maybe he's talking about the ions, I think, sodium ions and potassium ions, in terms of modern science. Maybe there's some relation to it. So Vayu Mandalam. So when somebody has a problem, a gas and everything, so that also comes through the nerves. That is Siddha's knowledge. So again, don't compare with this. That means the whole body can produce the gas. Okay. So the fourth part is your blood vessel, nerves, and also the air channels. Okay. All right. Now 5, it comes to muscular system. And then the muscular system, Tasai Mandalam, and 6, male tool, no, 6 is 5, அதன் மேலுள்ள இறுக்கமான தசை மண்டலம். So those இறுக்கமான means tightly bound muscle, that is 5. Then 6, male tool என்னும் சதை மண்டலம். That's the integumentary system. Skin. Yeah, that's why he put that also Sadai Mandalam. But you can say muscular system and integumentary system or skin. Okay, that is 6. 7, middle Roma Mandalam. See, the hair alone in the body, that alone is the Mandalam. Separate Mandalam, he says. So let us repeat the 7 for understanding. First you have Majjai, the bone marrow. Then the Elumbu, the stone. And then he says javu, the cartilage you were talking about. And then blood vessels, nerves, and the air channel together. Because all of them are connected, Babaji connecting them. Because they're all, I think, because they're interrelated. So he's given one mandalam. That is one mandalam. And then 5 is the muscular system, muscles. And then 6 is the skin. And the 7 is the hair on the top of the body. Rama Mandala.
All over.
All over. Okay. So that's why we have this hair all over the body. Remember, we're talking about only humans, right? Human body. So, these are the 7 layers. Okay, physical body, the one you see. இவற்றிற்கு மேலாக, above this, இவற்றிற்கு மேலாக ஆகாயம் எனும் பிரபஞ்சத்திற்கும், so Akash, Prabanja. Remember when we talked about the outside, remember we have the knowledge of the Initially, we talked about Andam, Perandam, Bhuvanam, then Sarasharam, Prabhanjam. Like that, we were talking about this. And then Shaktikalam and Shivagalam, the Shakti and Shiva. That the steps all over the universe. Siddhas have found out, but traveling there, we know that in our Siddhas knowledge. Babaji says this, the eighth one, Ahayamanam Prabhanjatirkam. Akash is the Prabhanja, nothing but Prabhanjam, nothing but Akash. Akashanam Prabhanjatirkam. Nam Udalakkum, our physical body and the Akash outside is a connection. தொடர்பை உண்டாக்கும் உயிர் எனும் கருவினை உள்ளடக்கி. See, there's an amazing knowledge is coming up in the last part. The eighth one is, I think, very, very important. No one we are not very familiar with. Eighth one is, remember we talked about the Jivatman, and then Babaji talks about the structure outside, how it looks. And then very deeply he is talking about the one which is rotating in the center, and also the pinal punta, the imprints of the structures. So that one has connection with that Jivatman and the one which is at the center. They have connection with Prabhanja, connection with the Akash, which is Prabhanja. பிரபஞ்சத்திற்கும் நம் உடலுக்கும் தொடர்பை உண்டாக்கும் உயிரினும் கருவினை உள்ளடக்கி இடைவிடாது சுழலும் ஜீவ அணுவின் காந்த சக்தியிலிருந்து உருவாக்கி உடலின் 7 அடுக்குகளையும் தாண்டி இடைவிடாது சுழலும் ஜீவனின் காந்த சக்தியிலிருந்து உருவாக்கி. So he says, man, it's difficult to explain. இவற்றுக்கு மேலாக ஆகாயம் எனும் பிரபஞ்சத்திற்கும் நம் உடலுக்கும் தொடர்பை உண்டாக்கும் உயிரினும் கருவினை உள்ளடக்கி இடைவிடாத சுழலும் ஜீவ அணுவின் காந்த சக்தியிலிருந்து உருவாக்கி உடலின் 7 அடுக்குகளையும் தாண்டி உடலை சுற்றி பரவி நிற்கும் கண்ணுக்கு புலப்படாத ஒரு காந்த ஒளி மண்டலமும் உள்ளதே மனித உடல் ஆகும். There is aura. He talks about vara, but then he also explains how it comes out, how it starting, how it is coming. Aura really forms, comes out. So the aura which is around our body is another mandalam. Let's make it clear. Another mandalam. This Roma mandalam is the 7th one, right? Beyond that, there's another mandalam which is aura. Okay. Then Babaji explains. I'm just chewing it bit by bit so we understand it better. And this aura mandalam, this is the mandalam, how it is coming and what is its character. It is actually this mandala comes from our Jivatman. This comes from the Jivatman, and then this mandala has connections with the Prabhanja, which is called Akash. That's its property. Property is it has connections there, and this one, because of the connection and its own rotation, the aura is produced, and the aura becomes a mandala. Okay.
It spreads beyond the 7 mandalas.
It spreads beyond. He says 7 அடுக்குகளையும் தாண்டி உடலை சுற்றி. It is jumping, it is coming out, and then the Gandha Mandala, the 8th mandala, which is Gandha Oli. Babaji says the magnetic light. The light is magnetic, not the normal light. Okay, the light itself is magnetic. Gandha Oli. This is the first time I'm hearing a light which is magnetic. So, Jesus, you add something. You want to add something? Yeah, you're getting it?
I am. Yes, I understand that.
So the very important mandala knowledge we're getting is the Gandha Oli Mandalam. There it is, have its connection. So 3 parts to it. Number 1, there's connection to Akash Mandalam, which is the Prabhanjam. And second, because of its rotation, well, even it's rotating because of the connection only, because of rotation, there is a magnetic light coming all over, inside the body as well as outside the body. The aura is going out. Going out of the body, we have a magnetic light. We have to include that also in the structure of the body when you study the human body. I think that is the knowledge which is lacking in the modern. Definitely, because they want. Because now they are talking about some kind of camera that takes even the aura colors and everything. I don't know. They take the colors, and it changes according to your feelings and everything. Even the evolution. Some people even try to read the chakras with that. We don't want to go into that. Let's follow Babaji. He exactly says, so there are 7, okay, and then 8. This is the
unseen one, right?
Yeah, this is unseen one. Magnetic light is unseen one. 7 which can see, 8 unseen. And then Babaji says very clearly, he says, this is how it is, so it is coming, this is property. That's the 8th one. Babaji continues, மனித உடல் மட்டுமின்றி உலகில் உதிக்கும் எண்ணற்ற ஜீவராசியின் உடல்களும் இந்த மண்டலங்களின் ஏற்ற இறக்கங்களை கொண்டே அமைந்துள்ளன. So there is a relationship, not only human body, even the animals which are coming out, they also have this kind of structure, but then some of them will be higher, some of them more muscles, more nerves, and less magnetic light. Okay, there's a difference there, but their relationship, they're similar.
He's talking about the 7 steps which are the same order.
No, nothing same, and everything is same. Yatra irakam on all of the 8.
Oh, they have, even the non-humans have the 8.
8, yeah, they all have, but yatra irakam, they may have a less.
Or less or more.
Less or more. Okay. So Babaji says, மனித உடல் மட்டுமின்றி உலகில் உதிக்கும் எண்ணற்ற ஜீவராசி உடல்களும் இந்த மண்டலங்களின் ஏற்ற இறக்கங்களை கொண்டே அமைந்துள்ளன. ஏற்ற இறக்கம்னா higher or lower. Maybe animals may have more muscles, less magnetic light. He didn't say it. Maybe you'll say later on, I don't know. So, but we may have more of magnetic light, less muscles.
So more or less proportion.
Yeah, the ஏற்ற இறக்கம்னா the higher and lower. Okay. So that higher and lower of the 8 mandalas is there in all the. So the basic structure is same. Okay, I can relate to this like this. You take any human cell, we have the same kind of gene, same kind of chromosome, but in some places it is activated. Some more muscles have more of mitochondria and all those things, but some of the cells don't have it, but they have the structure. So animals also have this, but then they're higher and lower. Difference is there. Okay. But மனித உடல் உள்ளடக்கி அந்த 8 மண்டல அடுக்குகளும் முறையாக செயல்படுவதை பொறுத்தே ஒவ்வொரு மனிதனின் பிறப்பு, வளர்ச்சி, உடற்கூறுகள், முதுமை, நோய், மரணம் முதலியவைகளும் நிகழ்ந்தன. Babaji says, including human, the way these 8 அடுக்கு layers, the way how all these 8 layers function, முறையாக செயல்படுவதை பொறுத்தே, it should function properly, right? Depending on how properly they are functioning, depending on that, மனிதனின் பிறப்பு, your own birth, your own வளர்ச்சி, your own spiritual improvement, your growth, your body, the way the body is there, your old age, முதுமை, disease, your disease, even maranam, even your death happens according to the function of these 8 different layers, how efficiently they function, which we can say the health, your disease, your death. Remember, we are getting the knowledge of this diseaselessness, agelessness, deathlessness by this understanding of the human body. Baba initially said people don't understand this. That is why Kriya Yogis understand all this. Now he's giving us the knowledge. The knowledge which is missing, and what we are supposed to be very clearly understanding, absolutely sure on this. This one.
He goes through the order of what he was saying, the birth.
Okay, let me read the sentence again. First he says all the other jivarasigal, okay, all the animals are the same thing. எனினும், but மனித உடல் உள்ளடக்கி அந்த 8 மண்டல அடுக்குகளும் முறையாக செயல்படுவதை பொறுத்தே ஒவ்வொரு மனிதனின் பிறப்பு. So in the humans, particularly he says, well, all of them belong, but particularly the humans, depending on functioning of this 8 layers, how efficiently they function, everything, depending on that only, let me go back. First he says, your birth, including your birth, because I think they are related to the Prapanjam and connection. How the efficient the function, your birth, your growth, physical as well as mental, spiritual, the growth, age, old age, disease, and death happens. So I think this concept may be difficult to understand. I think slowly let's finish it, maybe let us understand better. But the basic idea is already given to us very clearly. The reason the Siddha's Kriya Yoga knowledge of human body is this. There are 8 layers and 7 layers you can see. 8 layers, which is a very important layer, which people don't understand. And he not only says 8th layer, but all the 7, all the 8, because they are related to that. How they function is the reason, including your birth, death, old age, disease, everything. எனவே மேற்கூறியவைகளில் முதுமை, நோய், மரணமாக 3 நிலைகளையும் கடந்து இரவாத பெருநிலை அடையும் பொருட்டு செயல்படும் கிரியா யோகியானவர் இந்த மண்டலங்களின் சூட்சுமங்களை முழுமையாக இருக்கிறார். So that is why Kriya Yogis, that is why முதுமை, நோய். Remember, we always talk about aging, disease, death. Whenever we talk about Kriya Yoga and Maha Avatar Babaji, we talk about agelessness, deathlessness, diseaselessness repeatedly. But people understand the importance of truth behind it, because they say, oh, it's all humble. Because they don't understand these 8 layers. Because first of all, they don't understand, they don't believe it. And they don't apply directly to your physical body. And they don't apply directly to this birth, disease, death. But we, Kriya Yogi, understand. They are related, Babaji says. Karandu, they can pass through, because they know the reason why this is happening is because of the functioning of these 8 mandala. The Kriya Yogis can cross, go beyond aging, beyond disease, beyond death, because they understand this. Okay? கடந்து இரவாத பெருநிலை அடையும் பொருட்டு செயல்படும் கிரியா யோகியானவர் இந்த மண்டலின் சூட்சுமங்களை முழுமையாக அறிந்தவராகிறார். When you understand the shukshma of all these 8 mandala, then they can easily கடந்தவராகிறார். They can pass through all these 3 diseaselessness, agelessness, and deathlessness. எனவேதான் ஒரு கிரியா யோகியினர் தலை சிறந்த மருத்துவமதியாகவும் சிறந்த மனோதத்துவ நிபுணராகவும் ஜீவகாந்த சக்தியின் மூலம் இருந்த இடத்திலிருந்து எதையும் சாதிக்கும் ஆற்றல் பெற்றவராகவும் இன்னும் பல திறமைகளாக விளங்குகிறார். Oh my God, this last sentence. So not only the thing we talk about diseaselessness, agelessness, deathlessness, the Kriya Yogi, once he understands completely the human body, the 8 mandala and its knowledge, meditate on this mandala, I'm sure you'll get a lot of knowledge. So they get the complete knowledge of the 8 mandala. Because of that, from the place where they are, they don't need to move, they don't need to go. From the place where they are, Yogi, they first of all, they not only they are like a medical expert, because they know these 8 mandala very clearly. They also are good psychologists, psychiatrists, and also Jivagandha Sakti, because of the energy, Jivagandha Sakti, because of their magnetic energy, they will achieve anything from the place where they are. Not only achieve anything they want, and also they can show so many abilities which normal people won't understand. Like, say for example, if normal people, when you say Babaji came to Lahiri Mahashaya's house, and whenever he was calling, initially, not afterwards, initially Babaji says, anytime any people have any doubt about me, just call me, I will come. So if you read Autobiography of Yogananda, you will get this information. So whenever there was a doubt, for people will be asking, having about Babaji, he will call and meditate, he will call, Babaji will come, and then everybody will get surprised. He will come out of the light, right? And he keeps on calling almost every day. So Babaji get tired of it. And then he said, only when there's a need, I will come. Then he says, it has happened so many times like that. But what Babaji very clearly says, this is how the people are getting ability, this kind of abilities and I remember if you read the books, the Marshall Govindan published those 3 books, Death of Death, and those 3, and even the Jiva Gita and all those books he has written. In those books, many times, Babaji just says something to Nilakandan, and he will go, the Nilakandan will go and get some information, get the money to publish the book, to Ramaya, and all those things will come. So all these things Babaji could do from the place, from his ashram, right? He was just sitting there and doing all this, appearing in different places. And there are a lot of incidences where people have seen Babaji at the same time, one in Kumbh Mela, one in Lahiri Mahashaya, one in his ashram. So they have seen the same, exactly the same time. So all these things they can do. Because they have, I think the more important, personally, I think the 8th mandala is much more important for the thing. And not only that, 8th mandala and this connection to rest of the body, 7th mandala. So you can take the whole body as a light and then it goes there. Also, it is connected to the Prabhanja also, right? So they can travel easily and they have a connection. So the Shukshma knowledge is really there in the 8th mandala and in relation to the body. Okay, so in this, I think it's a very important lesson, important chapter and lesson in this lesson 14, chapter 14 actually. And he says, Kriya Vijnana Vlakam, Kriya knowledge for the human body. I think we're almost passing the time. Okay, so it is a very interesting chapter. So after this chapter, maybe I'll go a little bit in next class also. And then he explains more about Sparisam. Now that we have understood the human body, how it works, then you'll understand Sparisam much better. So that is very difficult to understand the importance of Sparisam. Then he talks about 3 kinds of Sparisam and so on. So I will stop there unless you have any questions. Is there only question, Rika? Okay, thank you.
Not a question, it's a comment. I think this is where Ayurveda a little bit differs from the Siddha, because Ayurveda also has these rasas, but they focus more on the ojas and how to keep it, maintain all these bodies healthy and etc. But I think Siddha has gone a little bit deeper in talking about how once you understand that, you can do extraordinary things.
Yeah, they never study this. They
it only stops at ojas and how to keep the ojas fire going, which is the thing. Okay.
Not only ojas, and now they also just say balancing the 3 doshas.
Balancing the 3.
That is what they will be repeatedly saying.
That is to maintain the Sthula body.
And once these Vata, Pitta, Kapha, these 3 doshas, whatever you're born with, and then you have to maintain for a good health. But Siddha's, that's why I found the difference when I studied this. In Siddha's knowledge, we are changing that 3 concept of Vata, Pitta, Kapha to the level of diseaselessness, agelessness, and deathlessness. Knowing, understanding these 8th mandala.
Now it connects.
Now it connects, right? Yeah. So there's a difference between Siddha and Ayurveda. People just say Siddha and Ayurvedic medicine, they just combine, not knowing the difference. And of course, there are some groups of people who don't want to get this for some reason. They don't know what they are losing. Anyway, so there's no further question. Let's thank you, Babaji. On the 5th anniversary, we got a very, very important knowledge. It's amazing, amazing. So 5 years, we have to get this. Even for me, I know a little bit, but then how deeply it is connected, I never understood. And more and more meditation, more and more developing your intuition to the 8th mandala is very, very important. Very important to further progress as well as to raise our level to what Babaji is asking for. But he has given us the hints. That's all they do. They given us the hints. He's given the connections and everything. We are blessed to have this. And thank him again for giving this important knowledge to us on this special day. Thank you, Babaji. All right, so let's do that. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namah Navasima Mavaya Nasi Shiya Namah Vashimayana Om Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, Manohar and Jason.
Okay.
Have a
Thank you,
wonderful night.
Nirita.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to
Thank
you.
you. Same to you.
Thank you.
Mother's Day.
Thank you.
See you.
It's just very profound today.
Maybe they can guess. Guys,
Mm.
maybe they can guess.
Mm. Yeah. Which one?
Good knowledge.
It's like a gift from the fifth time for us. கொஞ்சம் பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ் மாறுது. ஒரு திடீர்னு வந்து ஒரு வேற ஒரு ஆங்கிள் தெரியாது.
I always wanted to know what is that aura. People always have that aura. Enna aura? I mean, the kannu theriyadhu theriyum, but we see the pictures and all that. How do you? I thought me spiritual evolve another and aura irku na nanichen. Only when people, but I realize that it's always part and parcel of us. It's just up and downs of. I always felt that. And actually, evolve another. Evolve another, and the aura theriyum pola irukku nanichen.
Animals கூட இருக்கலாம். That is how they recognize.
நாய் வந்து கொலைக்கிறது, நாய் வந்து
அதாவது கனெக்ஷன்.
அந்த ஓராவோட இதனால வைட் எல்லாம் இன்சல் யாராவது எஸ்டர் பண்ணாங்க மாதிரி அது ஸ்பெஷல் அதுக்கு ஸ்பெஷல் I think that's when it's அதான் டக்குனு அதான் அவங்க பேய்படத்தெல்லாம் வராது மொத்த உடனே அவங்க ஃபீலிங் வருது எஸ்டர் பண்ணுவாங்க பேய்படம் Bhagwan the paper
everything the connect.
You make it control
If I had chapter Oh my God. Kenya. Yeah. End stream.